As Ian heads towards South Carolina, search and rescue and cleanup efforts are underway around our state. You know, many areas like Fort Myers, they're just devastated. It's hard to put into words the damage. And anchor Vic Micolucci is seeing it. He's joining us live via Zoom from Fort Myers this morning. Vic, good morning to you. Fantastic job in staying safe, you and Chris, and also bringing to our viewers here at home a real sense of this tremendous loss. And we have such empathy for those people who live further south of us because, you know, we all have found ourselves in a position where we've been threatened by a storm, but living it and living through it, as you are now seeing in the last 24 hours. Can you explain to our viewers? I mean, we hear from our area, okay, there's power outages, we get that, right? There's issues with water, but the reality is when you're living now after a storm has devastated your area, it's just hard to find anything.
It is, Jen. Good morning to you and everybody at home. And we're so very grateful that Jacksonville was spared the worst of it. But let me tell you, we saw that here in Fort Myers, all up and down the coast of Southwest Florida, really a devastating storm. And you're talking about the aftermath now. You know, remember, people had to ride this out for the entire day on Wednesday. And now they're dealing with it. You know, behind me is a hotel that's become sort of a shelter, and you hear fans or see some lights and activity there. Well, they have a generator just here in the lobby, and this is where people are coming from all over just to charge their phones to try to get a little bit of Wi-Fi to get in touch with their loved ones all across the country. But there's no running water, there's no electricity, there's no air conditioning, the toilets don't even flush, there's certainly no showers. And this is what people are going to be having to live with potentially for the next several weeks if they decide to stay here, Jen. You're looking at the aerial footage. That's from a search and rescue helicopter in some of the hardest hit areas from Northport to Sanibel Island to Fort Myers Beach. And then this is video from a mobile home park, one of just dozens in the area that have basically been destroyed. People without their homes can't even get in. Their roofs ripped off. We saw flooding get 3-4 feet into some of these homes. And people just have to find somewhere to go. And there's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people potentially displaced right now in this area.
So, Vic, it's interesting because we were talking with Richard Nunn earlier, and, you know, something that he keeps hearing from viewers and people, because, you know, obviously he's very familiar with that part of the state, also, with, you know, with family down there. As he said, you know, everybody kept saying, well, I thought it was going to Tampa. Did you encounter a lot of people who felt that they could maybe ride this out because they thought it was going to hit further north and then just simply ran out of time?
Certainly, Jen, and there's actually some people down here who came from Tampa and St. Petersburg thinking that they were getting out of the storm. We spent the beginning of the week in the Tampa-St. Pete area, and we saw, in my opinion, what appeared to be people more prepared. They boarded up more. They did everything there. Down here, there's a lot of families that I spoke to that said, we never really get hit here. We had Charlie, but besides that, we've been lucky. So they didn't board up. They didn't take a lot of their stuff. And actually, this was the scariest thing, Jen. There were so many people decided to stay, even if they were in these coastal flood zones, despite the emergency evacuation orders, despite police and firefighters banging on doors saying, you got to go, get out. They stayed. And I've met some people that stayed and then left in the middle of the hurricane. Yesterday, there was a who made the decision, which I would never recommend, to stay on his sailboat with his 3 dogs. The water got up to his shoulders. And that's when he decided that if he stayed, he was probably going to die. He and the dog were probably going to drown. They swam. They swam to a condo and then climbed up onto the second floor. And actually, he was living in one of these sailboats at this marina in Fort Myers. He was in one of those sailboats and then decided that he and the 3 dogs had to go, and they got into one of those condos, climbed to the second story, and rode it out from there. And he says he's been living here for 50 years, never been anything.
Yeah, well, and I think that you have to also remember, I remember seeing your interview with him yesterday afternoon, and essentially now his sailboat is pinned between the dock and this larger, you know, boat that just hasn't pushed him. I mean, he's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. But if you're faced with, you don't perhaps have a whole lot of means, the ability where you have money to, you know, you don't have a car because you live on a boat, to be able to drive to a different area and find a place to stay. And if you have pets, we all understand having to wrestle with that. But are you finding that a lot of people who stayed said, boy, that was really not smart, I should have left?
Yeah, Yeah, last night spoke with somebody in one of those mobile homes, and he says he's been through a dozen hurricanes. 50 years living in Florida. He decided to stay, and it was an absolute terrible decision. And he said he was thankful to be alive. But let's talk about the situation for people now. There are no hotels. There are no hotels in this area. So we saw a poor man with a walker and medical issues just sleeping in the corner by the elevators here last night. It's not like there's a place that you can go. And then if you want to hit the highway to go to Tampa or Orlando or Miami, the closest big cities that might have hotels, well, guess what? There's no gas. There's fuel around here. A couple places will open up, and then that gas will run out. So it's not even like people can leave right now. And that's the situation moving forward.
Yeah, and remembering also that as people who maybe did evacuate and went over to the East Coast are now thinking, let me come back and see how my house is doing. They find that their house is damaged. They have no place to stay because all the hotels are booked. So that is the reality now that people are going to be living not just days, but even weeks. Vic, thank you for all of your coverage over these last, 72 hours, you and Chris both. Please stay safe, and we'll see you when we get back.
Thank you, Jen.